Good morning to my millions of subscribers, or afternoon. It is Michael Thompson coming at you. Um, I am 41 today, and I just kind of wanted to reflect upon this last year. Um, and speak to, you know, where I think life could be going and the unexpected path of everything. Um, so this past year has been ups and downs. I've learned to navigate, different aspects of myself and let go of relationships that I thought would turn into something more. Um, and be okay with myself, which is a process. It's been a long process. And I don't have to be perfect to show up. I navigated old addictions that came up. Um, Old ways of escaping that no longer serve me. It's kind of like putting on old clothes and being like, is this still me? And realizing it wasn't. And so this past year, I've also grounded into connecting with family. I moved my sister back from, across the country. I've grounded into a relationship with my father, who lives in a nursing home nearby. And that's been a process in itself. Learning to like reconnect with family outside of like childhood trauma, and like, you know, I saw my sister as an individual that I knew like growing up, and had needs and expectations of her, and releasing that just to allow her to be and allow myself to be, and kind of reframing how we can be in relationship with one another outside of like toxic family dynamics that we grew up in has been a process. So that's been something I've been working on, like releasing toxic family dynamics, showing up for myself, and feeling resourced enough to show up and want to show up as a friend and as a brother, and doing my best to show up for my father, as he navigates different feelings and things like that, living in a nursing home. Some of the conflict I face is like I'd love to take him out of there and figure out a way to, make him feel more settled and have people around him that know him. And also, I'm like gauging my capacity to do that. So, those are things that I'm thinking about and considering. So, releasing family toxicity, learning how to be a brother and a friend and a good son, while also taking care of myself. Um, Something I'm working on. As far as like jobs and things like that, I lost a job and had been in nonprofit world for on and off 7 years, and recently I've been like, what do I do moving forward? And I don't really have the answer for that. I did launch a website on internal family systems processing because that really helped me. That's like a model of therapy that really helped me, model of the mind that helped me like stop arguing with myself and, heal a lot of childhood wounds. So I'm really grateful for that. And I got an opportunity to, through the loss of my job, I was frustrated enough. Frustration brings fuel, and so the frustration led me to, um, approach my IFS teachers and do some consulting for them, which is just a learning process for me. I don't know how long it'll last, and I've kind of released the security of like thinking this is going to be forever. And I just do my best and, show up. I'm also looking into like trades. My father was a master carpenter, among many other things, and unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to learn from him. He was very disconnected as I was a child, and he just didn't have the bandwidth to connect to me. And, but there's something about like working with my hands and working outside that I really have a deep desire for. And I don't know if that comes with a trade or not, but it's something I'm exploring. I don't have a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, or anything like that. I'm just kind of living where I'm at. And my hope is to gain some financial stability. I believe that, my family line has suffered through a lot of poverty. And, after my mother died, we lost our house. And, everything just kind of fell apart. And, growing up, we were very poor. And so I'm determined to figure out the financial side of things. I think these past couple years, after going through a really intense separation, I've just done a lot of nervous system work and learned how to like settle myself, get rest, exercise, meditate. And I don't do any of those things perfectly, but they're helpful for me. And, play music, see some friends. As far as like, so releasing toxicity in the family, being a better brother, friend, and son, while taking care of myself, working through and, talking to the young parts of myself that were like gripping to old addictions and releasing that. And, the job stuff, just being okay where I'm at, doing my best to get by. And, with the hopes that I can create not only financial stability, but financial abundance. And I know that that's going to happen. We'll see. So, as far as other things, I see myself slowly stepping out into exploring, intimate relating. I haven't been in any sort of intimate romantic partnership in a significant amount of time. It'll be coming up on 3 years, and that's okay. I built a relationship with myself. I think a lot of my past relationships were like looking for a caretaker and looking for mom, and now I'm just being me. And, loving myself and realizing that a partnership adds value. It doesn't complete me. I am complete and whole as I am. So that's exciting. And it's not like, at first when I started to explore, intimate relating again. Like this is just talking. Like no touch, no anything. Like I had these like fantasies of 5-year plans and all these things happening down the line, and I realized like when my mind gets brought into the fantastical aspects of this like future world, it's really easy for me to live in that because I lived in fantasy in my childhood. I lived in an imaginary realm to keep me out of whatever suffering what was happening. And now I'm okay holding suffering and the anxious parts of myself. So I don't really need to have a 5-year plan. I just want to explore connection that feels peaceful and heart opening. I've definitely explored relationships in the past based on like trauma bonding and sex, and that's not what I'm doing now, which is new for me. So I'm just exploring and holding all the anxious parts of myself as I do it. So those are things I'm excited about. I really don't know what the future holds, but I'm grateful that I have peace in myself and that I have grounded relationships. I have a couple of dear friends that I've also navigated ups and downs, exploring themselves, exploring marriage, exploring divorce, exploring separations, being in that, and learning to hold my own ground as other people navigate difficult circumstances, and still hold space and have love for them. Shows like I'm part of something. I'm part of like a community. Even if it's just a couple friends, those friends mean a lot to me. So I look forward to a new year and seeing what happens. That's it.